Welcome to our deep dive. Today we're looking at 50 religious journal prompts from the blog Listallion.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's all about, reflecting and growing in your faith.
Yeah.
They've got them all categorized, which is nice. So we've got like facing challenges, gratitude, scripture, prayer, and personal growth. And the cool thing is, you can adapt them to your own beliefs.
Yeah, that's what's great about them. You can make them your own. Explore your faith and what it means to you personally.
Right. So let's jump into the first category here, facing challenges. The first prompt asks you to think about a time when your faith was really tested. How did your beliefs help you through that? And looking back, did it actually strengthen your faith? I know I've had those moments where I've had to really lean in, and it's definitely shaped my faith.
Yeah, it's like the blog says, our faith often grows the most during those tough times. When we look back, we can see how much we've grown.
It's like those trials become stepping stones. Okay, let's move on to the gratitude prompts. Now, prompt number 6 really stood out to me. It asks, think about a tough situation that in hindsight actually turned into a blessing. How did your faith help you see the positive?
That's a good one. Sometimes it takes a while to see how things work out for the best.
It does. And the blog talks about gratitude nurturing an open heart. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. Gratitude is key for spiritual growth. I mean, when we recognize blessings, even in the midst of difficulty, it can really shift our perspective.
It's like that saying, gratitude unlocks the fullness of life.
Right.
Okay, now let's move on to the scripture prompts. There's a ton of variety here. Prompts about finding meaning in specific verses, learning from parables, and finding comfort in scripture during tough times.
Yeah, like when you're going through a rough patch and a certain verse just hits you right where you need it.
Exactly. I've totally been there.
The blog says, Scripture offers timeless wisdom.
It's amazing how those ancient texts are still relevant today.
It really is. They offer perspectives and insights that have just resonated with people for centuries.
Okay, so now let's talk about prayer. These prompts really delve into different aspects, like, reflecting on answered prayers, finding peace through specific types of prayer, and how your personal prayer life has evolved.
It's fascinating how prayer can take so many forms. From quiet contemplation to really expressive prayers.
It is. The blog describes prayer as a conversation with God.
Yeah, and just like any conversation, it can have so many different styles. It's all about that connection, that personal connection with God.
Finding what feels most authentic to you.
Exactly, and it really is a journey, just like our faith.
Totally. Okay, so now we're moving on to the final category, personal growth prompts. We've got prompts that encourage you to identify areas, where you want to grow and examine the role of community in your faith.
Oh.
And how to balance your personal growth with God's timing.
That last one's interesting, trusting in the process.
Right. One prompt asks, how do you envision your ideal relationship with God? Makes you think about how you want your faith to evolve.
It does. It's a journey, not a destination.
Like a seed. It needs time to blossom.
I like that analogy.
Okay, so I want to circle back to some of those self-reflection prompts that really grab my attention. There's one that asks, what are some areas of your faith where you feel called to grow? Like it's asking us to be honest with ourselves.
It is. It's about recognizing that growth is an active process.
Yeah.
We have to be willing to challenge our own assumption.
And learn and grow.
Exactly.
And there's another prompt that talks about doubt and uncertainty, which I think we all experience at some point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It asks you to write about a time when you experienced doubt. How did you work through it? What did you learn? I remember talking to a mentor about my doubts, and it helped me see them as an opportunity for deeper understanding.
A doubt is natural. It's not a weakness.
Yeah, it's about facing those questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about the prompts that focus on incorporating faith into daily life. One prompt asks, how do you integrate your beliefs into your everyday decisions?
That's a good one. It reminds us that faith isn't just for Sundays.
It's about living it every day.
Right. It's about letting our beliefs guide us, in everything we do.
And those gratitude prompts are so powerful. Just taking a moment to appreciate can really shift your perspective.
Gratitude is amazing. It can really open our hearts to more joy.
And then there's the one that challenges us to look back at a tough situation and find the blessings.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes we can only see the good in hindsight.
It's true. It reminds us that things can work out in ways we never expected.
And that can strengthen our faith.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at the scripture prompts now. One asks us to choose a passage that speaks to us personally and write about its meaning.
It's amazing how certain passages can resonate so deeply at different times in our lives.
Depending on what we're going through. And I like the prompt that asks us to reflect on a parable or story from our faith and find the lessons we can apply.
Parables are so powerful. They offer those timeless truths.
Okay, shifting to prayer. Now I'm drawn to the one that asks us to write about the types of prayer that bring us peace. What about you?
That's a good one. For me, it's being in nature, feeling that connection to something bigger.
The blog talks about prayer as a conversation with God. It makes it feel so personal.
Yeah, it's not about reciting words, it's about speaking from the heart.
And there's a prompt that asks us to reflect on how our prayer life has changed over time.
Our relationship with God is always evolving.
This has been such a great conversation. So many insights.
There's so much depth here. Each prompt offers a chance to reflect and grow.
I'm excited to keep going. Okay, and we're back. So as we've been going through these prompts, I've been thinking about how adaptable they are.
Yeah, they can really work for people from all sorts of backgrounds.
Different points in their journey.
It's like they tap into this universal desire for meaning.
Right, like that yearning for connection.
Exactly.
There's one prompt that asks how your faith has helped you through grief or loss. It made me think about how faith can be such a source of comfort.
It can be. It reminds us we're not alone.
And that there's a larger purpose, even when things are tough.
Absolutely.
Another one that stood out to me asks about a time you felt God's presence.
Yeah.
What happened? How did it impact you?
Ooh, powerful stuff.
I had this experience in nature once where I felt this overwhelming sense of peace. Like I was connected to something so much bigger than myself.
Wow.
It was incredible.
Because moments of transcendence can be amazing.
They really are. And speaking of powerful experiences, there's a prompt about spiritual awakening. You know those moments when everything shifts?
Like seeing the world with new eyes.
Exactly. It asks you to describe what happened and how it changed your perspective.
Those awakenings can happen in so many ways. Sometimes it's gradual, and sometimes it's like a sudden bolt of lightning.
So true. Okay, so I want to talk about the prompts that encourage us to look outward,
Yeah.
towards our communities and the world.
Like putting our faith into action.
Right. One prompt asks how you can use your faith to make a positive impact.
It's a good reminder that faith isn't just about personal beliefs.
It's about living them out.
Exactly. Making a difference.
There's another one that asks about people who inspire you in your faith journey. Who are those role models for you?
Oh, that's a tough one. There are so many people who have inspired me, mentors, friends, family members. Their examples have taught me so much.
Okay, so one last prompt that I think really sums it all up. It asks, what does it mean to truly live a life of faith?
Wow, that's a deep one.
It really makes you think about how your faith shows up in your life.
Yeah, everything you do.
Exactly. So as we wrap up, I just want to say how much I've enjoyed exploring these prompts with you.
Me too. It's been a great conversation.
They offer so many great ideas for anyone who wants to go deeper in their faith.
And understand themselves better.
And remember, you can make these prompts your own. Adapt them to fit your journey. The important thing is to approach them with an open heart and be willing to explore. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into religious journal prompts.